So this is the Boox Go 10.3 and it is a paper-thin Android e-ink tablet. And I think Boox have probably found the perfect formula for people who want a paper-like tablet with the versatility of Android. So I'm going to review it in all these categories on the screen now. And for me, there's only a few reasons to actually buy anything else right now. If you need a fingerprint reader, or if you need color, or if you need a bigger size. Okay, maybe there are a few more. Perhaps you might need a TF card slot, or some of you might prefer a more Android-like experience for apps, in which case you should look at one of the Boox Super Refresh tablets like the Note F3C and the Tab Ultra C Pro. But of course you can do all the same things on here. It's just that using apps might be slightly better on a color screen with amazing refresh. But look, the last time I finished reviewing another tablet, I thought to myself, what should I go back to as my daily driver? And this was top of the list. It was also top of the list during my top 10, my latest ranking of the very best e-ink tablets that you can buy right now. So you should find those categories chaptered out below, and so you can skip to the main parts which you're most interested in. First of all, for reading. This 300 ppi screen is one of the very best that you can get in all of e-ink. Sure, you might miss the front light if you want to read at night, but I would say that that makes this tablet a great companion to another smaller e-reader that maybe does have that front light for your nighttime reading. But the 300 ppi e-ink Carta 1200 screen is incredibly sharp, and it does give you really nice high contrast. The Boox reading app is fabulous, and we've said a lot about that before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it now, but it really is one of the best reading apps that you can get. It's just got so much functionality. I mean, every single menu has a kind of more part to it where you can find even more options. It takes some getting used to, but some of the key functions are that you can crop it to size. You sort of teach it where the margins of your page are, and then as you go through, it's scaled automatically to that width. Another key function to talk about is the highlighter and annotation functions. When you highlight here, you can highlight into different categories, which are just labeled by their different color, and then they are available here in the contents panel. And you can export all of those highlighted functions with notes that you might have made next to them, or even annotated pages. So it's really nice that you can select these pages and you can move them to a separate PDF file, essentially creating yourself a separate PDF of just your annotations. I also love the side-by-side mode with handwritten notes next door to the main content, but more on that in the learning section. You can also see here it's doing a great job of rendering this image here in the PDF. Some of the best photos ever taken, of course. And I also love that you can install any reading app that you like. And one thing I really love about it is you can simply go to any web location and download anything that you're interested to read on the device directly from that web page. I do that a lot. Or of course, you can simply read your news on the web. The thing about Boox as a reader is if you need a function, you're going to find it somewhere in one of those menus. It's all about choice. For writing, Boox devices are absolutely fabulous, and this is no exception. So you could start from writing your own handwritten notes. And there's a great handwriting feel with a great stylus. It's really accurate and quick. You could then go ahead and run text recognition on that and then copy that into any document or any word processor that you please. Or indeed, you could use the mini word processor that they put, these text notes. And this can handle up to 500 words, I think. I would say that this text note is going to be more beneficial for the Boox tablets that have type folios. But what you can do though in this notebook, or in fact anywhere that you can insert text on the whole device, is you can use the lovely Wacom EMR stylus to enjoy handwriting directly onto the screen, and it automatically recognizes your handwriting. Let's see how it does with that incredibly scruffy thing. Not bad. You know, considering I shoved the word handwriting in at the side. And one of the things that differentiates this from other Boox devices, they've taken out the front light layer, which means that essentially the e-ink screen is a bit closer to the top surface. And this has the benefit of helping you feel a bit more connected to the ink that you're laying down as you write. It is really nice. And the feeling is really well optimized. I've got no complaints about the Boox writing feel, although it's not the superfluous writing feel like the Remarkable or the Supernote. It is really very, very good. And then what you can do is you can use that excellent handwriting recognition and you can copy that out into another app. And this is where writing on the Boox device really comes alive for me, because you can work in any app that you choose. So for me, that's going to be Google Docs or Word. And you can go ahead and you can attach a Bluetooth keyboard onto the device, which is fabulous. You can also use the on-screen keyboard, which has handwriting recognition, as I've shown, and also voice recognition as well. And the voice recognition that is built into the Boox keyboard is really accurate. But of course, you can go ahead and use any other on-screen keyboard or other apps, like I use Otter to recognize my voice and transcribe it for me. I think it's pretty much got those word for word. For me, I just love that you can work across different apps and the fact that I can write and edit my own cloud documents on an e-ink tablet. And that is nothing short of game-changing. And I'm always shy of saying that word because it is too often said on YouTube. So next is drawing, and that's really one of my favorite things to do on e-ink tablets. And just this morning I drew this, which, well, you might recognize it, but it's lacking the color of the original. But it could be improved drawing on here. They have brought back tilt with the pencil, which is very warmly welcomed. I'll just take you through the layers of this. So I've used a light pencil line to lay out the drawing and then added a bit of tone with that tilt function with the pencil. And then I'm pretty sure I actually added these darker outlines first. And then I went through and underlaid a little bit of tone as well with a paintbrush. I think it gives a really nice effect. And what's more, I really enjoyed drawing on it, which is the most important thing for me. I found that really relaxing. And I'd say because of how thin and light it is, as a little e-ink sketchbook, it's absolutely fabulous. I just wish they'd give us an option for our notebooks to make it a bit more like a drawing app rather than a writing and notes orientated app only. So just as they've given you that option for text, I'd love to see the option for drawing mode as well. I only really need one page for drawing, whereas these can be any number of pages long. But as you'll see, when there is a lot of information on the page, it takes a moment to load each page, and zooming in and zooming out is not as smooth with all of that information on the page. You can see what I mean. It just kind of struggles with all of that information on the page. Whereas if they were just to give us a one-page drawing app, which was focused on giving you some great drawing tools and layer blending, then I think that they could do it without that kind of delay there. But one thing I'll say, although it isn't a Boox Super Refresh tablet, and you can see a little bit of ghosting, it is a pretty clean experience of e-ink here on the Boox Go 10.3. It's quite impressive what they've done there, really. E-ink tablets are simply fabulous for work, and this one is no exception. My standard workflow has always been to import a PDF as a template, which if you save in the storage notes template file, it just becomes the background of your notes app essentially. And that's really, really good. I also have used actual PDF templates for my planners and worked on those as well. But I found that with this tablet and with all of the Boox tablets at the moment, I simply use OneNote. So that's where I was keeping all of my planning whilst I was using this as my daily driver at work. And they have managed to optimize OneNote quite well so that you don't get an epic delay every time you write on it. In my opinion, it's now quite usable. And now, of course, that's synced up with all of my computers, my phone, and every other device that I care to sign into Microsoft with. E-ink tablets are amazing for planners. And this one, because you've got this incredibly thin, notebook-sized, powerful tablet in your bag, it's incredibly valuable for work. I also love that you can have the badged work apps, where you've got a whole other instance signed into your Works Microsoft 365 account. It's all there. All of my OneDrive from work, all of the PowerPoints that I was editing, Excel sheets that I was editing yesterday on my work laptop are here ready to go on this device. So any workplace app, anything that you need to do at work that has an Android app will work well here on the tablet. I would just say that perhaps for work, maybe having a slightly larger screen or having color might also be useful. Now, talking of using PDFs on the Go 10.3, well, let me tell you that PDFs are a very useful workflow on all e-ink tablets. But on Go 10.3, of course, you can install any app from the Play Store. So you can install an app called UPDF. Now let me introduce you to UPDF as they've kindly sponsored today's video. UPDF is a tool that will revolutionize how you handle PDFs. Whilst PDFs are really straightforward to read, editing and converting them can be a real challenge, and we all know how expensive other PDF editors can be. That's where UPDF comes in, as the ultimate all-in-one PDF editor designed to enhance your workflow. With UPDF, editing is a breeze. Just open the app, import your PDF, and you'll find intuitive tools for modifying text, images, and layouts, all without any technical hassle. Annotating your documents with highlights and comments has never been simpler, making collaboration a snap. Perhaps you need to convert a scanned document into an editable text document. Well, there's no problem. UPDF's OCR feature transforms those static files into fully functional documents effortlessly, giving you quick access to your content. And here's the best part. UPDF is packed with AI-powered features. You can chat with PDF to summarize, translate, or clarify complex sections. Imagine having an intelligent assistant that helps you navigate dense information smoothly. Plus, you can even convert your PDFs into mind maps to visualize your ideas better. It's an effective new way to brainstorm and study. UPDF works seamlessly across all your devices, whether that's Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android, so you're always covered. And don't miss out. Right now, you can snag UPDF Pro at an exclusive discount by clicking the link below. Transform your productivity with UPDF today. Certainly for me, I found it very useful to be able to quickly change my planner document without leaving the PDF format. So when things happen, like timetable changes or important key information in my week changes, I can change that without having to go back into the Word document to make those edits. It's useful, give it a go. Playing then, and honestly, I don't tend to install many games on my e-ink tablets. I tend to use them more for work. And I know that if I install chess on here, which I have done to do this demonstration here, then I'll find myself sneaking in a quick rapid game here or there. And before I know it, I'll have lost a few hours. But hopefully I can show you that the game does look quite good on here and is an enjoyable thing to do. Okay, maybe needs a bit of a refresh when I first loaded in, and probably could do with a little bit of optimization. Perhaps high contrast doesn't need to be on, or dark enhancement, and I think A2 mode is a little bit optimistic. I think speed mode will do just fine. Looks really good now. No, I don't. I think that move still needs a bit more thought. And certainly if you enjoy word puzzles or any simple game that looks good in black and white, card games for instance, then I think you'd really enjoy doing that here on an e-ink tablet. And Boox tablets will certainly be the best for that because you have access to great screen modes to change the contrast or refresh rate to make your enjoyment of the game as it should be. E-ink tablets are great places to do your thinking. And the Notes app is probably where you're going to be doing most of your thinking. I strongly suggest you do a better job of organizing your notes than I have done. You can, of course, make folders. And I did wonder, it seemed at first that you could only sort of do things one at a time, move things one at a time, but no, of course that's not the case. Here on Boox, they're always going to give you an option to do it in bulk, for instance, and now you can simply select what you need to move and move the whole lot all together. And one thing you can do is use a little bit of a Supernote workflow. In Supernote, you can build out a table of contents. Now, although you can't directly make a table of contents in the apps, you can actually make links out to other documents or pages in the document or a web page as well. So you can actually start to build yourself quite a sophisticated world of notebooks. And they've given you some neat forward and backward mode as well. So you can work your way through a sort of tree of links that you will have built out. It's really cool. I don't know why I've never really bothered to really organize my notes in Boox tablets, or certainly in this account of Boox. I guess that's mostly because I've been using OneNote where things are quite well organized. And that's where I keep most of my thinking about my YouTube channel and other parts of my professional life. Again, it's all about choice really, isn't it? It's all about being able to work in your own way. And so when I was moving those notes into that little tidy folder that I created the other day, and I did wonder, oh, can I actually do things more than one at a time? And well, of course there is that way. But it does show you that there is a bit of a learning curve here with Boox devices. And if you're asking yourself, can you do a certain thing? Can you work in a certain way? Then the answer invariably is going to be yes on Boox, but it might be quite difficult to find that within the menu structure. So I'd recommend spending a bit of time with the manual before you sort of give up on finding how to do things on your Boox tablet. And personally, I'd rather have the choice than anything else. Now, I promise you I'd talk about something important in this section, which is learning, which is the Book Notebook. Boox tablets are great for learning. And one of my favorite ways to do that is with the handwritten notes Book Notebook. It automatically launches you into split view, which by the way, you can use split view in just about any app. And here I can have handwritten notes. I'm still in a pen from earlier in a lighter color, which I linked to this book. That's the Scribble Erase, one part of their Smart Scribe functions they've added recently. And that book notebook, that lives always accessible from the book and also in the notes folder as well. So I can imagine for learning that perhaps you might have some questions on a PDF textbook, for instance, and next to that you would have your notebook with your own handwritten answers to those questions. Or of course, there could be notes of any form about the reading that you're doing. And that's always easily accessible right next door to your book. Another useful function for students is the voice notes that you could add into that linked notebook. You could even, for instance, link a Bluetooth microphone to record your lectures. And also, because it's books, you've got the full internet, of course, with a desktop class browser at your fingertips. So you've got the full Chrome Android version here, and you can be signed in to all your things and access all your learning from your e-portals, upload and download documents as you would on any other connected device. And also, of course, you can use apps like Duolingo or any other learning app you might like. There are speakers and microphones on the device as well. I think that learning is a very strong point for a Boox tablet. And lastly, connecting. I don't use my email much on a Boox tablet, but it is nice to know that it's there. And especially with things like web portals where they're going to email you login codes and things like that, then it's nice to have my Spark email and my Gmail account as well here on the tablet. I do sometimes wish that they would allow you to use 4G connectivity on Boox devices, so mobile connectivity, LTE for instance. That would be really quite useful. And let's hope that mobile connectivity in the Boox universe is just around the corner. And in terms of connecting with your team, of course, you could install any messaging app that you use, Microsoft Teams or Slack or anything like that. And for me, when so many people still share a lot of important information and important documents by email, then you can be signed into your work email account as well. You can also be signed into 10 Boox devices on one account. So either a team of 10 could work on notebooks and have them sync between them automatically, or you could of course connect a combo of excellent Boox-ing devices with your own personal account. I think personally the Go 10.3 would work well maybe with the Tab Mini C, a smaller color device to help you enjoy color content, or maybe even the Go 7 Color as your little reader. So in all honesty, I've evaluated a lot of e-ink tablets, and this right now is the best one, the best all-rounder. It's number one for a reason. And I haven't even mentioned the price. And frankly, at this price, there's very little to persuade you to go for anything else. The competitors aren't cheaper than it, and it's even well priced within the Boox range. So check out the latest prices from the link in the description below. I'm convinced that if you're serious about e-ink, then you should look at getting a Boox device. And this is a great choice within their ecosystem. Once again with Boox, it's all about choice. An ultra-thin design which just feels great in the hand, and a fully integrated Android system. This device gives you everything you need to make it your own. And at this price point, there's little reason to choose anything else. Bartolo asks, have there been any major firmware updates for the Go 10.3 that's actually improved the experience? What I'd say is that actually they launched a major firmware update for their tablets when they first launched this device. So it was launched on a whole new sort of version, a whole new look for the operating system. But if you scroll through this, you can see how much they've improved in the recent past. I think you can go into update history and see all the different improvements that they've had. A lot of these have just been bug fixes recently, haven't been sort of any major ones, but you can see that they're just constantly tinkering with things. And how many updates is this? So that's June. They do get quite a lot of and a lot of it just says optimize, but there's just loads. Yeah, there was a physical keyboard issue at first, but they solved that really quickly. One strength of Boox is that they are really responsive to people getting in contact and telling them things that aren't working so well.